Guys, how's it going? Great, great. So, as I said before, I'm starting a series talking about bariatric surgery. And so, I'm going to start from the very beginning for those who may be trying to qualify for bariatric surgery. So, I'm going to start from the beginning, kind of walk you through that process, talk about the various types of bariatric surgery, what are the pros and cons of each of those types of surgery, what to expect after the surgery, but most importantly, long range, because that's where people really run into the problem. You know, I'm 13 years out from my surgery. I had it in, I'm 15 years out. Excuse me. I had it in 2010. So I am almost 15 years out because I had it in December. So I can give you some of the pitfalls, some of the problems that you might incur 5, 6 years later, and how not to gain it back like I did. Okay, so let me first start this off with, I'm not a doctor. I am not giving you medical advice. If you are thinking about surgery and your doctor has specific rules and regulations or requirements he wants you to follow, by all means, follow your doctor, okay? He knows you. He knows your medical issues, your medical problems. So that's what he does. I'm staying out of his lane. So if you have advice from your doctor, I want you to especially to follow that, okay? So if I'm not a doctor, why am I doing this? Well, because a lot of times when people have bariatric surgery, they either don't lose enough weight, they're still obese after they've had the surgery, they may still be dealing with some of the other medical issues that they had before, you know, like type 2 diabetes or sleep apnea. Those problems may still persist, especially if you have not lost a lot of weight, a significant amount. And most importantly, many people gain their weight back. Now, if you don't fit that category, you probably know many people that do. I don't need to give you statistics on that because you probably are quite aware of that problem happening. So I'm going to kind of first talk to you about my experience, what I needed to do. Now, when I had surgery back in 2010, I had it here in Georgia. I didn't really they suggested that I lose weight before surgery, and I did, but I was not required to. So it all depends on how much weight you have and your medical condition as to whether or not you are required to lose weight. So your requirements in your state or your doctor's facility may be different from mine. I don't know. But as I said, I want you to avoid some of the pitfalls, some of the things that I did. And man, let me tell you, I wish I really had someone like me, not being cocky, but like me, who could have walked me through this process. So let's get started. So my goal is to give you enough information so that when you sit down with your doctor, if you're considering bariatric surgery, that you are informed. It's so important that you take an active role in your health care. You don't want to just sit there like a doorknob and just whatever they say. You want to come to the table with information so that you all can have a good discussion about what's going to be good for you. So let's start first of all with identifying obesity. Okay? Obesity means that if you are around 30 pounds or more over your ideal weight, and those ideal weights are usually determined by the charts that you will see. If you're 30 pounds over, you are considered obese. Another way to look at it is what they call the body mass index, or your BMI. So if your BMI is 30 plus, then you're considered obese. If your BMI is 40 plus, then you are considered morbidly obese. Those who usually qualify for surgery, according to my facility, are usually those who are 100 pounds over their ideal weight. So this is not for somebody who's just wanting to lose a couple of pounds or 10 or 20 pounds, for an event. This is someone who is significantly overweight. And according to their requirements, it's usually 100 pounds. Or they have a BMI of 40 plus. But they also may have a BMI of 35 plus that includes other chronic lifestyle diseases like type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, high blood pressure. Also, if you have tried other methods to lose weight, which most of us have, and have failed, you also have to be able to tolerate surgery. Many facilities are requiring that you lose about 10% of your body weight. Now that all depends on how much you weigh now. That's why you would have to really talk to your doctor about that. But the reason for it is this, is that the heavier you are, then you might run into more complications when you have the surgery. For instance, it may be harder for the doctor to access your stomach because of the stomach fat. Just let's be honest, because of the stomach fat. It may be more difficult for them to access that area. So they may want you to lose weight. You also have to go and see a cardiologist and also a pulmonologist to make sure that your heart and your lungs can tolerate surgery. When you are overweight, your visceral fat, which is that fat that's around your organs, you have more of those. So all those things are going to contribute to complications or some potential complications when you have surgery. So that's why they are wanting you to lose weight before the surgery. And that is if your doctor requires that, okay? Another assessment that you have to go through is usually a psychological assessment. Listen, I can remember this as clear as day when I had to do mine. Because I'm like, why do I have to go through a psychological assessment to lose weight? Well, it makes sense now. Because they want to test your mental readiness for the lifestyle changes that are going to occur after surgery. Your ability to cope with those changes. And as my psychologist put it, she said that you don't want to go from one addiction to the other. In other words, usually when you are significantly overweight, obese, morbidly obese, there's usually an underlying problem there. Well, after you have the surgery, and you will not be able to eat as much as you used to. That dependency that you may have had on food, that addiction may be transferred to other areas in your life. So you don't want to transfer that addiction, for instance, becoming dependent on other things like alcohol. Okay? So that assessment is very necessary. And there's no really pass or fail, but it just assesses your readiness for that. And really, I tell you, the best thing to do when you do have that assessment is just to be honest. Don't go in there talking about life is just wonderful, everything is fine, I don't have any problems. No, that's not the truth. We all have problems. This is the world that we live in, okay? So just be open and honest about the potential problems or the problems that you may be dealing with. Okay, so don't be scared if I say this, maybe I won't. They may not qualify, I might not qualify for it. Be honest with them. Because when you're honest, that's the best way that they can help you. Because I was honest with them. I really was. And I had no problem qualifying for the surgery. Now, something else just to remember. If you have difficulties qualifying because of your insurance or other things, I do work with a colleague who helps people to get qualified. If they have been denied before, then please get in touch with me, because I can get in touch with my colleague who works for a company who helps people to get qualified for these types of surgery. Okay? So this is the first of our series. And like I said, in things to remember, in order to qualify for the weight loss, 100 pounds overweight, BMI of 40 plus, or 35 plus with other lifestyle diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, sleep apnea, the ability to tolerate the weight, good heart, good lungs, and also passing the psychological assessment. And if you have problems, do not hesitate at all to message me. And let's talk and let me see how I can help you. And if you need to lose weight before, please message me because I can help you to do that also. Okay, guys, it's been great. And listen, next week, we're going to talk about the different types of bariatric surgery and the pros and cons of each one of them. So when you go in to sit down with your doctor about this surgery, you'll have the information you need to be able to talk with them. Okay? Great. Hey, it's been nice. Look forward to talking to you next week, Thursday at 6 o'clock. Okay? Have a great evening. Bye-bye.